Now, venture capital has been in the news lately, and perhaps due to the effect of the coronavirus pandemic and increasing waves across the globe, people and institutions are beginning to seek safer and wiser investment points. Peaking at 21%, Nigeria is reported to have attracted the most in 2020. And experts believe 2021 will be a record for the country in terms of venture capital on the continent. Now, what are the sectors attracting these funds, and how will these affect investment climate in the year 2021 that has gone halfway already? Ogbonna Ukuku is an investment expert and joins me to look at venture capital through the eyes of startups. You're welcome to Business Express this morning.
All right, thanks for having me.
It's a wet morning.
Yeah, it is.
And how's the weather this morning?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's good for when it rains, the farmers are happy. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, great. Now, it's been a very turbulent year. 2020 was more difficult than 2021. Was it expected that Nigeria on the African continent attracted this large forms of venture capital?
Now, pretty much you'll see that there's been this intentional drive to push technology into bringing efficiency into the system. So venture capitalists all looked at it and they saw that tech hubs were coming up in Nigeria and they were all springing up with speed. So that opportunity made a lot of them put in a lot of monies into the tech hub. So that is a sector where that attracted those huge funds. Over $700 million came into that sector. And whether you like it or not, the COVID also created that opportunity for them to see the reason why they should put in monies where what technology does is to reduce the human interference, human interface, which is let's say for tech ed or education technology, what it does is that it creates opportunities for you to be able to learn with tools and kits that you don't have to have the teacher with you, but the teacher can be elsewhere, and then you as a student being elsewhere. So that whole thing created that opportunity, and then investors began to see that with this large market in Nigeria, with this large opportunity in Nigeria, this is the best place to put money in. So that's why they attracted much more than Egypt and then South Africa, as the case may be.
Okay, so we have some people sit in some country and they look into the space in another country and they see these potentials. How does this work?
Now, pretty much what happens most of the time is venture capital, these are private equity funds or private equity individuals, high net worth individuals who want to put in money into a going concern or a startup. Owing to the fact that they see promising, they see promises that these opportunities will become bigger and will be very profitable, and they do it to take stake in your business. So when they look at it, so the first thing they do is they look at the opportunity, they look at the market, they look at how viable the market is, then they look at the people who are promoting these transactions, how transparent they are, what kind of capacity they have. Do they have the technical know-how? What is required for them to run such business? Then again, they look at those who are competing with you in the same business. If they look at the ecosystem and then see that yes, there are competitors, but you have things that you can use to, outplay or win in the markets, or you have your own the target market, you have your own percentage that is good enough for them, and then they see there's an exit plan for them at the end of the day. Let's say if there's going to be at the end of the day, you can go to the equities market to sell the shares, and then they exit and all of that. These are the things that they look at, and when they see those things, and then they see again there's efficiency in your system. They see also that you have let's say is a patent, or there's a patent right or the intellectual property right, governing those areas where you have created opportunities for them to come in. So they're interested. They want to come and put their money in, and then that's how it works.
Okay, so I've had to speak with a lot of young persons, especially during the lockdown, and they're like, oh, business is down. I don't have anywhere to go to. I have to wait on CBN. I have to wait for the federal government. But yet, in the midst of all this, some other people are getting these funds from overseas, from the capitalists, even here in Nigeria, staking out their funds into these businesses. So what are the fundamentals that a lot of people do not know about?
Okay, so the key thing here is everybody, see, most of the time we need to be able to divorce or take away passion from good ideas. You know, when you have a passion for a thing, does not mean that particular transaction is going to be profitable. Now, you have to see things from an investor's prism. Now, the key fundamental here is your ability to sell what you have. 2, what is that thing that is trending? What is that thing that an investor is interested in? Then the third thing that we must look at here is our ability to create what I call the ability to do bootstrapping, you know, the bootstrapping. Now, this is where a lot of people misunderstand the role of an angel investor, a venture capitalist, and also a bank. Now, before you come to a bank, banks finance projects, they finance going concerns. Then a VC or venture capitalist, they finance ideas. So these are the two different things. So everybody's telling you, oh no, until you become bankable. That's why I mentioned bootstrapping. Now somebody has to provide the funds that you need to do your business plan. Somebody has to provide the funds that you need to you know, let's say you want to set up a factory. You have to have acquired the land. You have to be able to get someone who will have the collateral or the back, you know, the backbone or the shoulder to carry you as a collateral or a collateral equity partner in your business. So these are the things you must, if the project requires an EIA. So the key thing is you have to become bankable. And for you to become bankable, this is when you need a venture capitalist. This is when you need an angel investor. This is when you need those kind of equities to come into your business, people that can take stake in your business. So your ability to open up your mind and say, okay, I have to have this person as part of my business is very key. So you can't own 100% of nothing. And, you know, so you can own a 10% of a big thing or own 100% of nothing. So holding on to your idea and saying, okay, it has to be mine alone. So first things first, you have to be able to share these ideas with people, close friends, you know, people who can believe in your idea. Because if people around you can't believe in your idea, why do you expect a bank to believe in your idea, someone that does not know you? So the key thing is, you know, being able to sell what you have, being able to develop what you have to a level where somebody will be able to want to do something or put in his or her hard-earned money into what you're doing. And then another key thing that we must always have at the back of our mind when we're discussing venture capital is that they also come with expertise. They come with their own expertise. So the venture capitalists always hire or have within them people who have expertise in different sectors. So if you want to go into agriculture, they must have someone who has that basic knowledge in agriculture to know, yes, I put in this here and this is my exit plan. I will be able to recover this amount of money. And then the return on investment is very key. They must see, investors think in numbers. They must see that their return on investment is what the risk that you're going to take, because they take the higher risks than the banks.
Okay, talking about the risk, and now, how far can VCs take startups typically in our climate?
Yes, in our climate, there's still a lot that has to happen, you know, because it's a cultural thing. This is why I always tell people, see, monies work. You put monies to work. Now, I think it was Oxfam or so that came up with a report in 2019 about Nigeria that we had over $1 trillion debt capital. Now, in real estate and all of that, that's why I actually appreciate the fight against corruption. Now, the fight against corruption is actually a fight that helps productivity in an economy that people don't know. Now, what that does, because when people steal funds from the system or illegally, what they do is they try to hide those funds in properties, you know, things, yes, things that you can't see. Because if it's a going concern, there'll be eyes on them. So if you fight corruption, if the government intensifies effort in fighting corruption, it will loosen up those funds that those people have, you know, that have stolen, or you get them back from them and then reinvest them into where monies begin to work for us, for each and every one of us, until the funds in circulation is directly proportional to the industries or to the productivity within that system. You will not see growth. So that is why I think it's a good thing that government is fighting head on this corruption thing, and then they are fighting it with, you know, getting out this funds from some of these people who have stolen a lot of funds, and they are hiding it into things that are not productive. So another thing government needs to do real quick is to make sure that we create a vehicle where some of these funds are they put them back into the productive sector. Okay, instead of just throwing it back into the budget. So there has to be a special fund or special vehicle created where some, these funds can be used to re-engineer or get the economy to, to begin to grow and then begin to, become a bit more robust. So the facts are all very clear. We have to get monies to work. We can't leave monies in the, we can't leave monies just sitting in the banks. So we need to actually, government needs to also strategically create opportunity, create a window of twisting. I use the word a window of twisting, where idle funds are made to contribute to venture capital system. Because if you're talking about venture capital, countries like United States, you have over 1,000 venture capital companies. So if the guy Mike Zuckerberg was if he was a Nigerian, probably he wouldn't have been able to start up, because in the US, there is this intellectual property rights. The laws are clear. Yeah. So if I come into a venture capital company today and sell my idea, before you walk in, there's a non-circumvention agreement you're going to sign at the reception before you even sit down to pitch your, what project that brought you there. So, if you do that, if the person is not giving you what you want, you move to the next company, because there are over 1,000 of them hustling to have you. Now, in India, you have over 400 or so. But in Nigeria, we have less than 50 companies doing this kind of thing. So that's why these are things we need to strategically look at, how to create them, make them work, because it's actually a panacea to create more, generate employment as far as any economy is concerned.
Okay, so before I let you off, just briefly, now we have most startups just starting and dying off, a good number of them in Nigeria. But you've rightly pointed out some of the issues around this thing. So I would want to ask you, before I let you off, how can a one-man business, do you see a one-man business succeeding, or it's better to bring in people to that business?
It's relative, really, Leah, because sometimes, if your idea is good enough, I mean, you can actually, you can do well. But it's only, they say two heads are better than one, So most of the time, I always advise people, or clients that come to me on advice, I always tell them it's better to get more people, because I mean, when you have more people, they bring out ideas, you can scrutinize things better, it makes it a bit more transparent. And again, if you are looking at, it depends on your long-term projections. If you're looking at, going global, if you're looking at becoming big, you need to have more people come into your business. You need to have an open mind. If you have an open mind, those people that are coming into your transaction, they're also going to come in with expertise. They're going to come in with their own ideas. They're also going to help you become a bit more accountable, because most of the time people, sole proprietorship does not give you that accountability to yourself. But when you have other people that you have to be accountable to, it makes it a little more easier for people to want to come into your business, to encourage mergers and acquisitions.
Can a one-man business attract a JC?
Yeah, if a one-man business can, but it's very rare. That would be extremely rare, because it depends on the company that is coming in. Because if, for example, if I'm to advise a VC generally to come into a transaction, there are basic parameters. They need to see those who are behind the business. If it's just one person, they now look at, do you have enough capacity to run the entire process? Because I mean, the technology, the skill that is required to run that particular enterprise, you must have. So it's very rare for you to find someone who has the architectural skill, you have the financial engineering skill, you have the marketing skill, so it's quite difficult for you to have all that in one person. Okay. So it's always good to have more people who have those required, skills that you need to run that transaction.
Okay, I must sincerely thank you, Ogbonna Ukuku, for always having time to share your thoughts with us.
All right, thanks for having me, Leah.
Thank you. Now moving on, Ganiat Jimo is a food processor, precisely Gari. Gari Jebo, a lot of Nigerians love to drink for its distinct taste. Now, the pandemic had significant impact on their factory. She tells of how the central bank came through and kept her in business.